again.
You ever wonder why Japan doesn't release everything in the West? Because most of it is trash. Whether it's controls, graphics, story, or the overly Japanese aesthetics. We just don't see a lot of the games in North America. But of course, sometimes they release an English version, but only in Europe. This is one of them. A game where you fight zombies in the worst hack and slash game for the PlayStation 2 I have ever played, while wearing bikinis. Why? Because Japan. From the awful UI to the clunky combat and semi-tankish controls, Zombie Hunters 2 left me wondering how the Japanese put up with these trash games. Then after a while, it hit me. They don't play with the controller, they play with themselves. This isn't a game, it's softcore porn for your PS2. Ridiculous to say the least, and yet very Japan. The controls feel similar to old school Resident Evil. As your camera changes, it affects your direction, even though the camera is movable and the whole game is 3D. A very strange feeling. Unlike the lack of a feeling in my pants, as I'm no longer a horny 12-year-old weeb who would actually like this game. The combat is very Dynasty Warriors at home quality. For some reason, you're supposed to fight hordes of enemies at once, but your attacks rarely land even on a single target. Eventually, I found a lock-on system button, yet that only made things worse, especially when dealing with the dumb birds. Eddie from Ed, Edd n Eddy was right. I hate birds. We also eventually just die randomly and have to start all over again, and the levels go on for a very long time. You barely earn experience as you kill enemies too, which, yes, there's a mind-numbing basic RPG mechanic where you level up your skills, but after slaying over 100 zombies, I still don't gain anything. What is this, a Korean MMO? Anyways, your attacks are a basic sword swing, kicks, and butt farts. I'm not kidding, you thrust your butt in the air and everyone explodes. God damn, they have a Taco Bell in this universe? Talk about a 5-layer burrito aftermath. The level design is awful, as you'll struggle to find your way around as areas are copy and pasted with the same assets, and some areas are too open and large with nothing in them. I eventually gave up on this game. It's not worth your time, and it's not worth mine. Overall, don't bother with this one. I'm glad it never came out in the United States. We don't deserve this trash. Japan, please keep your trashy porno games. For now on, sincerely, everyone. Anyways, that's it. See y'all next time. Hopefully, with not a trashy game and something actually worth talking about. After playing the second game in the Onichanbara series, I decided to seek out the first. This is called Zombie Zone. And yes, it's literally the same exact game with nothing different. And of course, it only came out in Europe and Japan. But there is one omission that really pisses me off. And you know what that is? There's no butt fart attacks.
Come again.
So what's the first game about? Who knows? Who cares? Seriously, it's the same thing as before with the text scrolling forever. I'm telling you the plot. It's just one giant exposition. Literally just scrolling forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Now, I may not have much to say about the first game, which is true, as there's nothing to it. I mean, I can't even get a chuckle out of the butt fart attacks anymore. You also can only play as one chick, and she's the main protagonist in the series. At least I think she is. It's hard to tell if the story is just, well, awful. She uses a katana and the combat is clunky as per usual. I struggled to fight a single zombie as the camera controls worked against me. Even with the lock-on system, things only got worse, especially in tight areas as the camera went apeshit. You wander through areas that are too large and too long. I mean, literally, they go on forever, and the large open areas are too huge, so you won't be able to clear the area of zombies without running around the entire time struggling with the camera in combat. It just takes forever to clear the areas and find the key item you need. After that, you wander back through long corridors of nothing, just jumping forward, trying to move faster to get past all the dumb zombies and to avoid the dumb combat system. Eventually, I got the 2 keys needed to progress all the way back to the start of the level. Why? The next thing I knew, I was fighting Jim Sterling.
That's a good one.
Actually, the combat didn't feel as awful at this point. I got more used to it, and it works better with one enemy at a time. Also, if that enemy is a giant monster. So, after fighting the beast and grabbing the item it had, not sure what or why, I was thrown into stage 2, where I rage quit the game due to the graphics just getting worse. The camera was wonking out, and the enemies overwhelmed me eventually as I stopped caring.
Alright, I gotta leave, okay?
John, we just started. Come on, man.
Listen, there's a lot to see in this life. Not wasting it here.
At the end of the day, Zombie Zone is a worse version of Zombie Hunters 2, which makes sense since the game is the first and Hunters is the sequel. But still, I do not see the appeal of these games, and I'm glad Europe got this trash instead of us. Please, Japan, keep the series in the land of the rising turd. We don't deserve to be tortured any more than we already are with our current politicians already doing a good enough job.
It's awful.
Zombie Zone was the first Oni-chanbara game, only released in Japan and Europe, for a good reason too. It sucked. Then they released the same game again under the title Zombie Hunters 2. But that wasn't enough. They didn't just want to double dip, they released the same game again under a new name, Zombie Hunters Other Side. The same game as the other two, just got rid of the 2 in the title for Other Side. Yeah, real creative there, D3 publisher.
What the fuck?
The game features the same stuff as the other 2. Same modes, same characters, same locations, same combat. Nothing new, nothing improved. They really were lazy and greedy as hell with this one. Hell, they didn't even bring back the super mega ultra secret technique butt fart attack from Zombie Hunters 2. Seriously? At the least keep the butt fart attack, you fucking pricks.
Man. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? Oh my god, true? Yeah. True and fucking real.
So you run around in small arenas fighting the same brain-dead, useless AI of zombies that take way too long to dispatch, in turn making the combat even worse than it already is with the sheer clunky nature of it. Seriously, they implemented the worst take of old-school Resident Evil tank controls and fixed/chase cameras with Dynasty Warriors combat. Good God. You just run around aimlessly trying to figure out what to do, where to go, how many enemies do you need to kill to clear the path to the next arena. Some arenas are too huge and open with what little zombies exist within it, and the clunky controls and clunky combat keep complementing the poopy sauce that is on this turd sandwich. Eventually, I started getting covered in blood and didn't understand what was going on. I guess the Japanese are aroused by women covered in rotting corpse blood. Maggots, rotting flesh, blood, and bikini babes. Japan, never change.
Can't I just have a break? Can't I just have one break?
Honestly, I tried my best to get far as possible in this since I already knew what was going on. As in, I didn't know what was going on, because the game is piss poorly designed. Even Wolfenstein wasn't this hard to comprehend. That's the difference between good development and bad development. You understand Doom and Wolfenstein with ease right away. But this game? Zombie Hunter's other side? Nothing is explained. Hell, even the story in this one still has the long text crawl. Reckon the Japanese were influenced by Star Wars that much, huh?
We're waiting.
The only way I could ever have seen myself enjoying this game was if I was still a horny teenager, cause I'd be thinking with the wrong head that this game is actually good cause boobas. Eventually, I found myself getting to the boss. This being Jim Sterling. Again. Wow. Well, at least it ain't that derpy schoolgirl from Zombie Hunters 2. That was pretty fucking stupid. Here, I just gave up and allowed Jim Sterling to destroy me. Not something you'd ever want anyone to say, let alone hear. But it is what it is. I just can't with this game anymore. I'm done, I'm out. Thank God this was the last Zombie Zone /Hunter /Onichambara game for the PlayStation 2. Time to move on to something else. Hopefully a game that's actually good. Oh, who am I kidding? Pretty much everything I download and play is awful when I think it's actually going to be decent or even great. Why do I keep getting the bad games to make videos on?
Ass!
At the end of the day, I do not recommend this garbage game. Please, for the love of God, don't buy this or download it. It's not worth a single penny, nor any bandwidth. I'm out. Peace. Well, we found yet another zombie game for the PlayStation 2. And of course, it's by D3 Publisher. Honestly, starting to think these guys are the LJN of Japan. Thankfully though, this might be the last one. This is Zombie Virus. Yeah, real creative right there, D3 Publisher. The game is basically Crazy Taxi, but with an ambulance and zombies. How can you go wrong with that? Simple. D3 Publisher made the thing.
Alright, I gotta leave, okay?
John, we just started. Come on, man.
Listen, there's a lot to see in this life. Not wasting it here.
The plot is you live in a utopia city that was hit by an earthquake. This somehow created zombies and killed large portions of the city. You, being a doctor, use an ambulance to rescue people. That's it. That's the plot. How dumb. Very, very, very dumb and extremely boring at that. You just drive around the copy and pasted city of assets, trying to find people in a fog draw distance worse than the first Silent Hill. That came out on the PlayStation 1. This came out on the PlayStation 2. Then you drive the survivors back to the hospital before they turn into zombies, because for some reason, the ambulance turns them into zombies. Why are we using an ambulance then to rescue people? How dumb. So very, very dumb. This game sucks. You have several ways to get a game over. One is your vehicle is destroyed, and it can happen fast. In fact, once you hit a zombie, they can latch onto your roof and damage the vehicle fast, giving you a game over. Now, how do you remove the zombie? Swerve around? No. Go fast? No. Hit the brakes hard? No. You can't. They stay on the roof, and in less than a minute, destroy your vehicle. You must bring back the ambulance to the hospital, hit a loading screen, and then there you go. That's it. Zombie's gone. Now you can head right back out by hitting another loading screen. What is this, the PS2 Starfield? Yeah, it's that bad. The other way to get a game over is to watch the hospital building rapidly decline over time. Once its health bar is empty, game over. Start all over again. Let me mention the awful intro is unskippable for some reason, and it took over 10 minutes to get through the fucking thing.
Oh, my favorite.
The control isn't great, as to be expected for a PlayStation 2 driving game, especially one from Japan. Use X to accelerate, square for brake, circle for reverse, triangle for nitrous? Okay, Tokyo Drift this ambulance, except you can't drift. It's a PS2 game after all. How very, very droll. I hated making this. I did not want to go through with it. I wanted to scrap this like Digimon World 4. But here we are. Gotta fill the quota. Every time you pick up someone, you need to bum rush B back to the hospital. This means if you can only find a single person, you have to drive all the way back to the hospital, hitting the loading screen, deposit the survivor like money in the bank, then hit another loading screen to go back out and find more. You can only carry 2 at first, and over time, if you kill enough zombies and have enough mechanics, you can research new parts to improve the vehicle and get new ones. Yet it doesn't really matter since the zombies dole out so much damage to the ambulance anyways, and they can perma-latch to the roof and destroy your car faster than Biden destroyed the US economy in less than 3 years.
Based.
After about 17 minutes, I quit the game out of boredom, realizing I've seen everything the game has to offer already. It's just another bad D3 publisher game exclusive to Japan and Europe. Thank God it's over. Time to move on to something good. Let's see what's next. Son of a bitch! At the end of the day, I do not recommend this game. It's just a mediocre zombie game for the PlayStation 2. Copying a better game will offer nothing of value in turn. It gets old fast, very unbalanced, the lack of voices and storytelling is awful. Just nothing great. Glad Europe got it. They can keep this game, along with the rest of the D3 publisher trash. When looking up Japan and Europe only games, you'll no doubt see a lot of D publisher games. I mean, they make the trash Oni-chan-bara series after all. Well, today we have another turd by these talentless hacks called Zombie Attack. Only released in Japan and Europe. You play as a generic anime chick, fighting the same zombie model, in the same copy and pasted corridors, escorting the same people over and over again across the entire level for several levels, and the game is over. How is this a game? Right away, the game proved how fugly it was. Honestly, I can't say anything positive about the graphics, nor the art direction. If you can even call it an art direction. Seriously, nothing matches. It's just random stuff put together to make a game. Jesus H. Christ. Japan was asset flipping before Steam made it cool back in 2013. Controls are basic. Move with left analog stick, select with is for your menu, start to pause and quit the game because that's the first thing you're going to want to do. Then each of the face buttons are tied to a certain ability. X is sword, square for gun, triangle for rice, and square for seal. The sword is the only weapon that's effective, so don't bother with the rice or gun. Also, after you hit the enemies for a millionth time, they smoke. Use the seal and get rid of them. But the zombies just respawn anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Now here's where the clunky nature kicks in. The zombies are faster at moving and attacking than you. Every time you switch to a different attack, it takes time to swap the sword for the gun, or vice versa, leaving you open for attack, and the survivors you must escort mission to the end of the level. Yes, this game is a glorified escort mission. The survivors, however, love to panic, like headless chickens running around, getting in the way, and causing the zombies to chase them. This in turn gets in the way of your attacks, especially the charged attacks. The zombies are faster than you in movement and attack, so even if you charge up before they get near you, they will just run right up and cancel your charged attack. This is annoying. It makes the combat more repetitive, as you must use the weak attack and spam it each individual time on each individual zombie, as the hitboxes are atrocious. After playing a bit into the third level, I just couldn't stand the game anymore. I quit, realizing I've seen everything this game has to offer in the first level alone. You just run around the same copy and pasted environments, fighting the same copy and pasted zombie models, escorting the same copy and pasted survivors, with no variety in anything, especially the combat, as you can level up your weapons, but it barely made a difference, if any, at all. All I can say is this game,
It's awful.
It's all fucking awful! It's all of it, and every single one of them sucks!
at the end of the day, I'm glad this never made it to the US. We don't need any more trash as is. Honestly, outside of Silent Hill and Resident Evil, there's really no good zombie games on the PlayStation 2. Reckon that's just how it is. I do not recommend this game, as it would be more enjoyable being anally pounded by an elephant. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. You ever wanted Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, but were stupid and bought the PlayStation 2 instead of a Halo box? Well, don't you worry. D3 Publisher has come to the rescue with another Simple Series 2000 title, this time being about anime girls in bikinis with extreme boob physics. There's also several mini-games. It can be played with 2 players. That is if you know of any other Coomers who would love to play with you in the first place. So good luck cloning Asmongold.
Suck a fucking dick. Shut the fuck up.
You can select one of 7 girls to play as, each with their own swimsuit, some more revealing than others, as well as boob size, cause, I mean, come on.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, it is what it is, right?
So pick whoever you want, cause nothing else is different about them outside of voice and appearance. You got Ayano, Yuka, Ryoko, Minako, who has the biggest rack of them all, but of course, how could it be a Japanese game without the jailbait? So we also have Arisu, then finally we have Kana and Miyu. What an odd number to settle on though. Why 7 girls and not 8? Why not even it out? Oh well, doesn't matter. But one thing I want to point out about this game is in the options menu, the only setting is boob physics. By default they're weak, but if you want, you can also select strong. Okay, this game actually has a couple of pros already.
This shit is insane.
You have a whopping 15 minigames, which sounds like a lot until you play them and find out they last about as long as a virgin with a porn star, let alone are just not that fun. In fact, several are awful on design. The first few were fine, but they didn't interest me. It has the infamous Dead or Alive butt bumpers minigame as the first one. Just knock your opponent off the float with your butt before they do the same in turn. It was over in roughly 10 seconds. Now you'll notice there's a scoreboard. You play through all the minigames, whoever wins the most wins. Sounds normal, right? Well, here's where the fatal flaw kicks in. You must win all minigames. If you lose, it'll ask you to restart. If you don't, you'll be kicked back to the main menu.
What?
Now explain to me, why is there a scoreboard if you must win every single minigame to continue? So yeah, right away I was really pissed off. I mean, what kind of game is designed like this? Oh right, Party Girls by D3 Publisher. Well, let's talk about some of the other minigames before we get to the score, shall we? You have a minigame called Jump Onto the Island. You swing from the circus rope swing and hopefully land on the island float. The closer you are to the center, the better the score. So whoever is more accurate wins. This lasted 13 seconds. Let's Swim was the next minigame, where you must swim to the end of the pool. Whoever reaches the furthest wins. This lasted 12 seconds. Starting to notice a pattern? Less than 1 minute minigames with only 15 total, some of which are poorly designed, and the player must win the minigame, otherwise they'll get kicked back to the main menu. This is just bad game design 101. Panic Balloon was the longest because the players take turns pumping up the balloon, and whoever is the one that pops it loses. This was the only one that took little over a minute to complete. The controls for all these minigames is okay and simple, but the games themselves range from quick and forgettable, like your first time with an experienced girl who brags about how much you sucked and ruined your reputation in high school.
Excuse me, what?
To frustrating in gameplay, like trying to jump onto moving pool floats that bounce around and cause you to slip and lose the minigame every time you play. I just give up on this game. It's just not worth it. In fact, I was so close to tossing this whole review like I did with so many other games lately. At the end of the day, just avoid this Wish.com Dead or Alive Extreme Beach experience. There's nothing good about it. Well, okay, besides the boobas. But that's about it. Why must I win every minigame? Why isn't there any content? Why is this $20 or even more? There's nothing here of value. Much like D3 Publishers' continued existence. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. What happens when you take climate change, sharks, krakens, ghost pirate ships, and that one Waterworld movie that no one remembers? You get Deep Water, a PlayStation 2 game published by D3 Publisher and released under the Simple Series 2000 line of games. Yep, it's time for more D3 Publisher trash, and oh boy howdy, is this game trash. Plot is the world has gone through some changes because climate change, and there's no more land, just water. People live on boats and harbors now. The world is also infested with all kinds of sea monsters like giant killer sharks, Somalian pirates, ghost ships, krakens, and more. You play as some kid who's so-called gifted and must stop the evil monsters. Yeah, that's it. The plot sucks, and it's all text only. So good luck understanding and keeping up with things. The entire game takes place in a single boat. You drive it around, find harbors, get supplies like fuel, repair a boat, get ammo and missions. Then go out and complete said missions. The control is decent enough once you get used to it. It's no Grand Theft Auto Vice City or San Andreas in terms of smoothness, but it's decent enough to control the boat. On the boat, you can move around it, mess with the engine to cool it down, as over time it will overheat and stop working if you drive for too long, especially at high speed, a mechanic that becomes annoying about 15 minutes into the game. Getting bombed and knocked out of the menu as pirates and sharks attack you non-stop isn't exactly fun. As for the combat, you have a crappy rifle that takes forever to kill anything, especially the pirates that blow you up with cannons. Outside of the rifle, you have mines, which can be deployed, but that requires you to stop driving the boat, run over to them, release the locks, and let them fall into the water and blow up right there on your boat. Yeah, the mines don't work right. Lame. As for the rifle, it has infinite ammo given it's weak, but you can buy better guns and the required ammo at harbors. You'll go through the ammo quickly, however, so save it for stronger enemies like the non-stop pirates or the pirate ghost ship. Every time the enemy hits your boat, you flinch and must wait to react. The sight movement to use your gun is slow and clunky, causing you to constantly aim down sights and stop to move the camera and or yourself, then aiming down the sights again. It gets real annoying with the pirates because they move extremely fast, making it hard to hit them. harbors are spread far apart in a world that's literally copy and pasted assets. You'll see the same exact ruins, rock cliffs, and random metal frames, which I learned later on, were so-called lighthouses. How is that a lighthouse? The missions are basic and forgettable. Go kill this, go kill that, or go to a different harbor and report in. That's all you get to do. It's boring, and I was fed up after 45 minutes of playing this game. So let's get this video over with. I have nothing else to say, since this game is literally very lackluster, has no substance, and is very repetitive. It's extremely boring, and it's really another D3 publisher title. At the end of the day, D3 Publisher strikes again with yet another turd of a game. Why is this company so crappy? Why must we have more LJNs in this world? We don't deserve this awful treatment. We deserve better. But alas, D3 Publisher wants to Chris Brown and Kobe Bryant us at the same time for all of eternity. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. Rollercoaster World is a poor man's roller coaster tycoon for the PlayStation 2. Oh, and yes, this is a simple series title. Shocker. Explains the piss poor quality cheapness of the overall product in question. So what do you do in this game? Simple. You build roller coasters and test them. That's it. That's the entire game. $20, bitch. So to start, you can either just make roller coasters in a challenge mode, where you can make a coaster according to a set of goals. Make sure it's a certain height, length, speed, nausea rating, safety, expense, you name it. But the fatal flaw in this game is the camera, controls, and design. Unlike the likes of Thrillville and Rollercoaster Tycoon, where you can see yourself making the coaster, in this game, it's a wireframe in a blueprint map type of environment. This makes things hard to see and where you place stuff, what angle, what height, the length of each part. But then if you screw up, the controls to edit parts is annoying. Use the triangle button to go back, square to go forward and place another part. If you want to delete something, move to it, press start, and select edit, then select delete.
Why?
But if you're not careful, it can delete the whole coaster as well.
Oh, damn it, damn it, damn it!
Then, if you want to preview your coaster, you can't because you didn't make it within a certain height, length, and the coaster may be going into the ground. It may not be able to connect and go all the way around, which is one of the worst parts. Trying to connect the coaster together in the end. All because of the awful controls, camera, and wireframe design. Why is it wireframe? It should have been full 3D. The PS2 is capable, just not the developer or their engine to make it apparently. We have a better game on the PS2 to play. It's called Thrillville. So let's wrap up this review with the other two modes and things to do. You can make your own park, like it's Rollercoaster Tycoon, but not really. In fact, the controls and camera come back to bite the game in the rear end once again. Use a dislocated grid map to place random objects, but everything is decoration. Also, you can't really rotate the coasters, they must always be placed in 1 degree in angle. The guests are just PNG files. Seriously, They're just flat, low-quality images of no doubt the developers or free-use imagery. They pop in and out just standing there. You can walk around your park in the first-person mode. Not sure why you would want to do that, just to look at such low-quality trash. But then again, people do pay loads of money to look at modern art. The most fun I had with this game was viewing the pre-made coasters in the preview mode of the developer's own work. Just switching the camera around, listening to the random music the game features, and hearing people scream as they get flung from the coasters. I was laughing my ass off. It was the only time this game was entertaining, besides when I deleted it. At the end of the day, Rollercoaster World is an awful attempt at a video game. If you want to play a Roller Coaster Tycoon on console, especially the PlayStation 2, you should just give Thrillville a chance. It's a much better experience, and there's a 7th generation version called Off the Rails, which adds even more stuff, and you can play it on PC via Steam and GOG, and I even made a review on it, so go check that out. There's no reason for Rollercoaster World to exist. It sucks. It's not even a game. You don't play anything except with awful controls and bad UI. There's no payoff, there's no replay value, no depth, no fun, nothing to be had. You'd have more fun playing Hong Kong 97. Enough said. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focused on the pain, the only pain that's real.
You ever wondered if there were Yakuza clones out there? Well, before Yakuza, we had Shenmue, but that's not a clone. That was a predecessor. And Yakuza was a spiritual successor. Yet we did have one known clone, but one you probably never heard of, and for good reason. It's a simple series title, published by D3 Publisher, this channel's LJN, and it was only released in Europe and Japan. And this game is called Yakuza Fury, and it is one of the worst games I have ever played. Get ready, because I have nothing to say positively about this failed abortion. Get ready, because I'm going all out. Fuck this piece of dog shit abomination. The plot is 5 clans formed an alliance to stop all the violence in the city because all these clans were fighting. What city? Don't know. No name is given. It's just considered this city is violent. The clans don't matter either. In fact, the story itself sucks, as nothing is really explained and you're left to figure everything out on your own. You have to figure out what's going on, where to go, and what to do. Shit game design 101. Also, the translation is full of spelling errors galore, and there's no voice acting whatsoever, not even a Japanese voice. So, it's impossible to tell who's talking at any point unless you see their mouths move. Is it the protagonist that's talking? Is it someone else who's talking? Is it the narrator who's talking? You'll never know, bitch! All that matters is your Wish.com Kiryu Kazuma, who beats up some Yakuza goons and is forced to join one of the clans. It's all abrupt and impossible to follow. But after that, you just wander around the shitty looking PS2 city with nothing to do and no clue where to go, and along the way you fight non-stop hordes of enemies for money and no way to heal yourself outside of key moments during story battles. Oh, and if you die, game over. Start all over again. Unless you constantly save, and you can only save when you're in the streets. Lame.
Nice fucking model!
I'd buy that for $1.
Lots. Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
If you buy a girl a pizza, she is obligated to have sex with you.
Bazinga!
Fuck you in the ass! Okay?
Oh, that's nasty.
The combat is so tankish and floaty and disconnected at the same time. This makes Shenmue look like Street Fighter 6. Enough said. You only have 2 attacks and no real moves. You can mash the square button to attack, the X button to throw. The throw doesn't register and hit other enemies, so don't go thinking like in Yakuza, you can toss a guy into a horde of other guys and damage them all. That's not how Yakuza Fury works, bitch. So you mash the square button constantly, hoping to hit the enemy. But unlike you, the enemy is fluid and can move in all kinds of directions, dodge, and run attack you into the ground. Your attacks hardly register as you're thrown into like a weird lock-in system where once you start punching in one direction, you can't move and change your direction of where you're hitting until you stop attacking. Then you have to rotate your character around, then start attacking in that direction, hoping you land hits on the enemy. Does that make sense to you? No, of course not, because it's shit game design. You can't do anything that the AI can do, because they're clearly playing a better game than you, and you're going to want to wonder, why can't I move more fluidly? Why don't I have dodge? Why don't I have block? Why don't I have run attack? Why don't I have anything that's good and fun that a video game should have? Because that's not how the developers wanted you to experience the game. They wanted you to suffer, because D3 Publisher is Satan in disguise. Also, you only have one special move for the triangle button, and it just knocks enemies down, and it doesn't even damage them. There's no reason to use this shit move in this shit game that's a shit clone of Yakuza, a game that's not shit, unlike this shit that is Yakuza Fury, which is some of the worst shit I've seen yet in my life, and I saw the downfall of Jeb Bush's campaign.
Please clap.
You can customize the protagonists, whose name I don't remember because the plot sucks and there's no voice acting. But the customization is vastly limited, costly, and pointless. Unlike in Kenka Bancho Badass Rumble, you have no real options in personalization. Hell, you can't even make the guy look like Majima Goro. You can't even make him look like the Mad Dog, and you're ripping off frickin' Yakuza? But by default, he looks like Kiryu from Yakuza 0? Go figure. But hey, at least it It points out the fact that if you choose the skinhead option, you're considered a real man. What are you trying to say, translators? The game is just dog shit. It plays bad, it looks bad, it feels bad, it runs bad. Nothing is explained and it's beyond clunky. This makes Resident Evil 1 from 1996 look like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The controls are the fatal flaw in any video game, and this one is no exception. I have never played a fighting game so unintuitive in its controls before as Yakuza Fury. How do you rip off Yakuza and fail at even the most basic of things like combat, let alone the awful story and forgettable characters? Not even Yakuza pulled that off. Well, until Yakuza 4 for the plot and characters, and Yakuza 3 for the combat, but that's besides the point. Yakuza Fury has no originality, no steady flow, no consistency. You're just tossed into the game and expected to know what's going on and what to do all about it. Hell, the game has no balance whatsoever either. You can't carry items, and healing items are rare. The AI cheats all the time as well, especially the boss I had to face who keeps spamming his special spin attack while I can't even block nor heal, and the boss easily defeats me several times, and guess what? I had to start all over again and make my way to him, and he cheap shots me again. This time, I just gave up and quitted the game. Everything about this Deep 3 published turd is awful. There's no redeeming factor. I went in with an open mind and wasn't expecting much, but once D3 Publisher's logo appeared, I knew. I was in for fucking hell.
Suck a fucking dick. Shut the fuck up.
At the end of the day, you're better off getting violated with a 1,000-degree knife. You're better off being spit roasted by elephants. You're better off learning Mandarin. You're better off voting Libertarian. You're better off watching every single episode of The Cleveland Show. Yakuza Fury is an abomination to gaming, and one of the worst things ever conceived by humanity next to the atomic bomb. I'm done. I can't deal with this shit anymore. And you may be saying, oh, it can't be that bad. Okay then, you go play Yakuza Fury yourself. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. If I haven't decided to put myself into a padded cell for playing this shit game. Dear God, is it awful. Don't play this shit. Okay, I've done it again. I went and found a neat looking game for the PlayStation 2, to only find out it's a simple series game. Yes, D3 Publisher strikes again, with Special Forces, aka if LJN made a Tom Clancy game. But in reality, it's worse than it sounds. From its atrocious controls, bad camera, and stupid AI, to the crap shooting mechanics and bad mission design, Special Forces is truly a special one that rode the special short bus to the special section of public school.
You've got mail.
I have several questions.
In the far future year of 2015. Yeah, that was 9 years ago now. The Japanese government founded a new national defense unit called SACT. Almost could have spelled SCAT. Special Assault Combat Team. The goal of the police unit was to protect against terrorism in Japan. The unit is only utilized in the most dangerous of scenarios, all spanning over the course of 9 missions, each equally more garbage than the last. The unit is made up of 4 elite police officers: Joe Thompson, Chris Beckett, Ray Saito, and Will Wright, each with a strength and weakness, such as high stamina but slow movement, and great accuracy but slow reload time. But in the end, they all control the same, and the controls suck.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
But first, what about the weapons? Surely a tactical shooter is loaded to the brim with quality firearms. Nope. The guns all suck because of the bad controls. It doesn't matter what you use, the enemy can fire faster and more accurately than you anyways. Once they detect you, you're already dead. In 4 shots, game over. Start all over again. Yes, you heard me. 4 shots. Each time you get hit takes a full health bar, and you only have 4. But your partner gets 5. I guess they're more important than you. You got rifles that fire slow but do high damage, but are less likely to incapacitate the criminals. You need to bring them down and arrest them, otherwise you get a bad score. The goal is to arrest, not to kill, which is bullshit, because if you just shot all the terrorists, that would send the right message of we do not negotiate. We just cap all your bitch asses. But instead, let's waste tax dollars on housing them, feeding them, bathing them, and giving them a nice bed after they killed and terrorized people for life. Hooray for the government! But yeah, you got handguns, assault rifles, and shotguns, and non-lethals. But you'll want to take the guns only, cause they're more effective, and the enemy will already have drained at least 2 or 3 health bars from 2 or 3 shots before you can even get a single round off. Bullshit.
You've got mail.
What could have been a decent low-budget tactical shooter ended up being a disaster the moment you start playing the actual game. From the start you think this might be good, with the basic plot introduction, character selection, and weapons, but once you start playing you find yourself fighting the controls. Yes, the controls are absolutely atrocious. After all, no matter how good your game is, the moment the controls suck, your game is automatic crap. Only good games have good controls. Only bad games have bad controls. You have to have good controls. No good controls, you can't play the game, therefore your game is shit. But anyways, you move with the left analog stick. Use the right to move the camera. But if you move to the right or to the left, the camera just jerks itself back into the center of the screen. To shoot the guns, you use R1. To reload is R3. Circle to crouch. L1 and R1 together. Activate stealth mode, which lasts shorter than a virgin with a porn star.
Not funny.
Square is for a map that appears in the middle of the screen and takes up the whole thing. Thankfully, it's transparent and eligible enough to anyone who doesn't have bad eyesight, let alone isn't stupid as the developers that made this crap.
I feel like that one was a direct attack at me, and I feel very offended.
To command your only squad mate, you must use the D-pad. Down is to stand down, kill on sight, and follow.
Down!
The right is to tell them where to go. That's it. You could swap weapons with L1. L2 and R2 is to scoot from side to side, let alone roll side to side. You can arrest criminals once they're incapacitated by shooting them in the legs enough. But not using too much high-power weapons, otherwise they'll just die. To arrest them, you press and hold X, but only when looking at them at a certain angle and distance depending on one of the 3 view options you're using with the select button. Yes, that means the interact button is off from where it should be, like an invisible cursor that's slightly to the right or to the left. Very annoying, and it costed me several health bars, squad mates' lives, and time, just trying to arrest people, as you only have a few seconds to take them down and arrest them before they get back up, and at that point, you have to kill them and lose several points. All the while getting shot at by other criminals. It's just a bad controlling game. In fact, I was swapping viewpoints constantly, just trying to find a decent way to play this game. But alas, there is no decent way to play with dog shit. The game is barely even tactical, as you only get one squad mate who's mentally retarded. Yes, the AI in this game is awful. You can shoot a guy, and if there is enough distance between him and the other criminals, they won't notice he's dead. But then, if you approach them at a certain distance, even if you use stealth, they become hostile. They know where you're at, and fire non-stop till you're dead or they're dead. They don't have to reload, unlike you, and reloading is clunky and slow. You could tell you're mentally challenged. See, I can be PC wokies. Partner, to open doors, to stand down, to follow, to move to a certain spot, and that's it. They will always go in for the kill, and that costs you loads of points. And you can't change their equipment. And in turn, makes it harder to get points, to get promotions for new weapons. And you can only have 2. A primary and a secondary. Lame. During the whole game, you will get non-stop pop-ups telling you things. This cannot be disabled and will always appear every time you play the game. So get used to having the game interrupt your stealth and ruining it, let alone when you're trying to press and hold the X button to arrest people. The pop-ups will interrupt this and stop you, and the criminals will get back up, and if that happens, you will just have to kill them, or your squad mate will kill them. There's no tactics, no fun, and it's just a fucking piece of shit failed abortion abomination of gaming. This is the worst tactical shooter I've ever played.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why is everyone but me so stupid?
Shit, got your ass.
Ooh, this is not good at all. This looks like a 1.7. Holy shit, a 1.7. That's really bad.
At the end of the day, Special Forces is just another simple series trash title. The game has no originality and is a blatant ripoff of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six and many other tactical shooters that are way better in every way imaginable. What started out as a flawed, simple little tactical shooter with hiccups but was forgivable, quickly spiraled down into a shitty experience with frustratingly bad controls, stupid UI, stupid AI, and a lack of balance. There's no reason for difficulty options when the game itself is just dog shit in the first place. No matter what you do, the game will find a way to fuck you over. It's just not worth it. And I was so close to scrapping the whole review too, but someone needs to warn the world of these shitty games. D3 Publisher strikes again. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.